Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Next Gen Cup Thursday night series for the Daytona 100 here with Doghouse Racing League, a newcomer here to the Team Goon Squad broadcasting schedule. And currently we have qualifying currently underway. Lone qualifying is currently underway as we speak. But today, in the name as it says, Daytona 100, we are doing 100 laps here at Daytona. We are on race 11 out of 14 here today as well. So these guys are going to be competing for points, wrapping up their season here for the final 3 races here in this series for the Doghouse Racing League. But let's take a look on our screens at some of the drivers who have been setting down some times and see if we can find anyone on screen currently. So a little cut off there, my apologies for that. But on the bottom of your screen you can see the different times being set by different drivers for different positions and kind of how well they're doing in each quote-unquote sector of the track and how they're doing against their opponents and against their teammates as well. There's only about a minute and a half left in qualifying here today. On qualifying currently, we have, William Gentry out in first with a 48.63, setting out his best time. Daniel Wilkerson in second with a 48.66, and Bill Petroff, as well as Leander Johnson, also setting off a 48.66. So all three of these guys are all going to be setting off similar lap times here today. Justin McMahon also coming in second place with a 48.65. Impressive work to see there from the number 20 machine. Setting off quite impressive lap times as we see Andrew Pratt, in the number 75, setting off a 48.66 as well, joining the pack of drivers here who are setting off seemingly similar times here today at Daytona for race number 11. But qualifying is about to wrap up here. We have about 20 seconds left to go here before we get our grid lined up and ready to go for our first few laps here at Daytona for the feature of tonight's race for the Next Gen Cup Thursday night series. And there we go on our screen. Starting off first, William Gentry in first, Justin McMahon in second. In the number 20 machine, Andrew Pratt. In the number 75 from New England, Daniel Wilkerson. In the number 78 machine, starting out fourth, Bill Petroff. From the Carolinas, starting out in fifth, Leander Johnson in sixth. In the number 32 machine, in fifth, Bill Petroff. I already went there. Eric Peck in 7th place from the Midwest is going to be in the number 7 machine, starting out in 7th as well. Daryl Whiteside starting out 8th tonight. Andrew Cower in 9th place. Nick Reynolds in 10th place. Randall Barnett in 11th. Kevin Thompson in 12th. Doug Turner in 13th. Andrew Williams in 14th. John Mickey in 15th. Jonathan Jennings in 16th. Kurt Schweitzer in 17th. I apologize if I butchered your name. I apologize for that. Doug Solms in 18th. Michael Bowen in 19th. Eddie Rivers in 20th. And last but not least, Wesley Whitfield. And these drivers are going to start it off today from pit road. See the excellent lineup of cars here tonight, and I was watching these guys before the race started, getting a feel for how these guys drive, and these guys are very, very solid at racing in packs. I'm very excited to see what these guys are going to do here in the opening few laps here at Daytona and see how the rest of the race plays out. 100 laps here at Daytona, it'll blink by very quickly. These laps will tick by quicker than you might expect. These drivers are going to set off for their first few laps here at the Daytona Speedway, excuse me. Following behind the pace car, William Gentry in the number 34 machine, going to be followed on the outside by Justin McMahon. Or, excuse me, that might be actually Andrew Pratt. Nope, that is Justin McMahon. I was correct the first time. And all of these guys here, from what I've seen, excellent drivers. I expect to see some very excellent racing to back up that statement as well, as we get ready to take our first few laps here at Daytona for the Next Gen Cup Thursday night series with Doghouse Racing League. And I would like to thank Doghouse for having me come on board to finish out the season with you guys. Very excited to be here. It's great to be here. A lot of excellent drivers that I'm seeing out on field today, and it seems to be that we are going to have a very exciting race for everyone watching tonight. And there the pace car goes down into pit road, and drivers are going to be waved the green flag. And Justin McMahon, William Gentry leading the field in first and second side by side. We have the 75 of Andrew Pratt kind of doing some defense work, trying to keep Daniel Wilkerson in the number 78, and I think Bill Petroff as well out of the mix there. Bill seemed to have backed off quite significantly there, but Andrew Pratt is now on the hunt behind William Gentry in the 34. They're kind of developing a train here. The number 20 machine of Justin McMahon kind of falls back, finds a gap. He's able to find himself in third place before he loses any more positions. Once you find yourself outside of those trains, you're going to lose speed very quickly, and it's going to be extremely difficult to maintain whatever position that you might potentially have. But these guys are doing a fantastic job here today at Daytona. We are still racing away here today. William Gentry leading out in first place with Andrew Pratt in the 75 machine. He's going to be followed behind with Justin McMahon in third place, giving him a little bit of a draft. And now we have Andrew Pratt out in first place. These guys are just exchanging positions left and right. It's very exciting to see. I love to see it. Andrew Pratt here leading the race here with Justin McMahon out behind him in second place with Eric Peck in third. Andrew Courier and William Gentry in fourth and fifth respectively. Daniel Wilkerson finding himself in sixth place now, having fallen back, but you can see there just how well these guys are doing in packs as well as just in single file, following behind one another extremely well. And I believe I was mistaken by saying it was 100 laps. I believe it's 100 miles. That is my mistake. My apologies. My error on that end. But continuing on, we have racing to witness with Andrew Pratt, Justin McMahon, and Eric Peck in first, second, and third, nearly bumper to bumper. You can see it on your screen here, just how close these drivers are to one another. Andrew Pratt doing everything he can to keep his car out in front, and really the only thing you have to do when you're leading the field is just don't mess up. Stay consistent and try not to abuse your tires. You do not want to wear out your tires sooner than the rest of the field. It's a very tricky thing to maintain and to balance, but Andrew Pratt is doing a very excellent job of doing so here tonight. Justin McMahon, second place, doing all he can to put the pressure on that number 75. Daytona is the place where these cars, you don't really have a whole lot of opportunities to make to make passes effectively. You have to rely on the drivers around you to get into other trains to gain a little bit more speed. You can kind of see there Justin McMahon wanting to take a different line and seeing who else is going to potentially follow him and get around that number 75 of Andrew Pratt. And that's one move that you could make. I also could be mistaken in what Justin was doing there. He could have just kind of got a little bit out of the line there, just a little bit. But these guys doing an excellent job of maintaining line. Just look at that. Absolutely impressive work from these guys. It's almost as if you could tie a rope between the bumpers of each of these cars. And that's just kind of where they're going to stay. It's really, truly amazing to see. These guys doing a fantastic job. You can see just how close Justin McMahon is in that number 20 machine to that bumper of Andrew Pratt in the number 75, getting absolutely as close as he possibly can. Lap 5 of 40 here at Daytona. There he goes. He's going to try and make a pass and see if he can make it work, but is he going to have enough speed to be able to stick onto it and hold on it? It actually looks like he's losing some speed as Eric Peck is now taking over. Andrew Cork, he's out of the line. He's not going to be able to keep up the speed with the train that is now going to consume him, and spit him all the way out to 8th place now and dropping rapidly. Justin McMahon took a risk there to try and make a pass on Andrew Pratt, and it turned out to not work in his favor. Now I want to take a quick moment here while we're still racing and have a look at the current point standings for the series here. So everyone in this series, everyone that's racing currently, some of these guys are newcomers, but we have a few that are still in contention for points. The top 10 on your screen currently on the right-hand side. You can see there Jonathan Jennings in the number 95 machine. He's going to be first in points with 1,702 points. Andrew Pratt in second. I believe Kevin Thompson in third. Doug Solms in fourth. And Eric Peck in fifth, rounding out your top 5. So Eric Peck and Andrew Pratt currently are I believe the only two that are in the top 3 currently. But these guys are doing absolutely everything they can to make something happen. But speaking of people that are going to be trying to make something happen, Jonathan Jennings might be someone that might have a trick up his sleeve that we have yet to see here tonight, but it seems to be the Andrew Pratt show. As Jonathan Jennings, he's worked his way through the field up 8 positions from where he started tonight in that number 95 machine. It's very, very possible that Jonathan might be able to work his way up into the top 5. He's already cracked the top 10, so there's definitely the open possibility that he'll be able to work his way into the top 5. But given that we've seen some green racing here so far, it's going to be tough to say, but there's still 31 laps left to go here before we see the checkered flag come out and we see the end of the race come. It's going to be tough to say what's going to happen here for Jonathan Jennings, but he's going to do everything that he possibly can now, as he has Kevin Thompson in the number 99 machine behind him, going to be putting some pressure on him now as well. Going to be keeping an eye on that and seeing how Jonathan holds up here throughout the race. But looking at the front of the field here once again, and actually as we tuned into that camera there, you could see just how close everyone in this race is. There is not an inch. Really, there's not a whole lot of room between the packs of the field here. If we panned out a little bit further, you would definitely see some cars a little bit further behind, but there's a good handful of cars out here in the front of the field, and that's just fantastic to see all of these guys here. I believe there's 13 cars that are currently in this pack here in the front of the field. Great thing to see. Yeah, you can see there on the... Well, actually, no, you can't. For a moment, I could see on the back of the screen the back of the field kind of join in on that section of the track there. But taking a look at the action here in the front of the field, like we were saying before, Andrew Pratt out in first place with Eric Peck in second in that number 7 machine. Eric got extremely lucky having Jonathan. Nope, wrong car. I believe that was. Where did he go? I am missing the car that we were following. Justin McMahon, the number 20 car. Excuse me. He dropped down to number 12. Eric was able to definitely capitalize on that, able to hold out in second place, and now he has Andrew Courier, as well as William Gentry, all in the line behind him now. And these guys are still bumper to bumper through these turns, and it's just impressive to witness. Lap 12 of 40 here. And you can see kind of the there's not really a whole lot of opportunities for drivers to make anything happen. That's really the struggle with holding in these lines. You really are relying on someone to make a mistake in front of you and to capitalize on that as much as possible. Because as we saw with the number 20 machine, once you break that line, once you break that draft, it's pretty much game over. Unless you can find a gap to rejoin the train, if you will. But that even comes at its own cost. Quite tricky all in itself. Lap 13 of 40 here today at Daytona. I gotta say, this has just been excellent, clean racing from all of these drivers. Let's have a quick look at our blimp up above Daytona Raceway here, and just see a little bit better, have a little bit better of a view of what's going on here between these guys and between these drivers. You can see just how close Eric Peck in the number 7 is to Andrew Pratt in that number 75 machine, leading this race here today. You can sort of see this field is starting to separate just a little bit here and there. Not really too sure what is causing that, if that's just a little bit of tire wear here and there, possibly. But so far, everyone doing an excellent job. Let's actually ride on board as well with the third place driver, Andrew Courier, in the 16 car. You can hear just the amount of throttle input that is being put into these cars to make sure that they don't run into one another. It's very, very easy once you're in that draft that your car just wants to get closer and closer to the bumper of the car in front of you. And that's just the nature of the physics of how those aerodynamics works on these cars. It's extremely impressive how that works and how much they've developed over the years to make these cars do what they do today. And that is what we are witnessing here in a sim environment that is absolutely impressive. But 24 laps left here to go at the Daytona 100. We are about halfway through the race here today with Doghouse Racing League, and it has been a fantastic one through and through. I've loved all the action that we've seen here today. has been very impressive to watch and very exciting to commentate for, I have to say. Very interesting to see. It's actually the first time I've ever witnessed these next-gen cars myself, so it's very, very curious how these cars perform and how they actually react to the just to racing in general. It's very, very interesting to watch. And as these guys are making their way through the front stretch, it's very impressive how well these cars are able to stay as close as they are for as long as they're able to. And it's very fascinating to see, and it plays into the strategy of these drivers and what they have to do to be able to stay out as long as possible, stay leading. So you're going to see a lot of different strategies being played out by these drivers, and it's a very interesting thing to see. And it looks like we are going to have a mass entry into pit road. Bunch of drivers locking up the 78, going sideways. We have a driver out on to the grass. I believe that was the 66 or the 99 of Kevin Thompson. Yes, that was the 99 of Kevin Thompson. Getting a little loose there going into pit road there, locking it up just a little bit, trying to avoid the traffic incident that was happening in front of him. We have a couple drivers still out on track. John Mickey, Jonathan Jennings, and Daryl Whiteside, all still out on track. Gonna make some laps happen here and be able to regain some of those positions, and probably gonna head down pit road themselves here pretty quickly, if I'm not mistaken. There's 50% fuel here for these races. Yep, and there they go down into pit road. They're going to make a little bit of a late entry just to gain those positions back, but be able to get a little bit faster of a pit stop too, possibly, just depending on where they find themselves. But everyone else that has went into pit road a little bit earlier, Andrew Pratt in the number 75, who was first leading the race, is going to find himself in 4th place currently. But now that the 3 leaders, quote-unquote leaders, that stayed on a little bit longer than the rest of the field have gone into pit road, Andrew Pratt is going to regain that lost position. Eric Peck still on the tail of that number 75 machine as well, so that's going to still be a battle between these two drivers here. We're going to have another look at the points battle here that is happening between these drivers in this series. Andrew Pratt in 2nd place currently, behind Jonathan Jennings, and Eric Peck in 5th place in points. So if Eric was able to pull out a 2nd place or even a 1st place finish for himself today, that might give him quite the bump in points. Maybe even be able to work his way up to 4th, maybe even 3rd place by the end of the season. But only time will tell. We will be able to commentate for it all and bring you the action for it here at Team Goon Squad. 1080p, 60 frames a second. $20 laps left to go here. Andrew Pratt and Eric Peck still duking it out for 1st place, and we have Jonathan Jennings, who is finally, excuse me, that is not Jonathan Jennings, that is a different driver that we have in 3rd, seemingly. Possibly lap traffic that we have here that might find itself worked out of the field. Oop, excuse that. But anyway, we have the 75 and the number 7 machines have both been duking it out here for quite some time. And we actually have the number 20 machine of Justin McMahon, a lapped car, finding himself trying to unlap himself for this series, for the race here today. With 19 laps left to go here, that is going to be quite the job ahead of him, but he's now on the bumper of Eric Peck, so it's very possible that Justin is going to be able to make that possible here for himself today, be able to unlap himself if he's able to. There's no cars around him. There's really only the 2 in front of him, so he's just got to find the opportune time to make it happen, be able to work his way through the 7 and around the 75. Only time will tell. And we still have other drivers around the field. Let's have a quick look at where drivers are on the track. You can see on the bottom right-hand side of your screen on the track map kind of where everyone is currently. And you can see the 75 of Andrew Pratt going into turns, I believe that's turn 3 and 4. Making their way across the finish line. 17 laps left to go here. And I believe because of that pit stop and because of what just how everyone else exited pit road, we're gonna see quite the stretch between the field, I think. And as I say that, we see a whole pack of drivers just barreling their way towards the top 4 here. Well, really, the top 2 is the only 2 that are actually on the lead lap. The number 20 of Justin McMahon, and I'm not sure who that was behind them. Looks like the 89. Yeah, Kirk Schweitzer. It's going to be another lap driver. Both going to be looking to try and get another lap back. Well, at least Justin McMahon seems to be the driver that wants to do that. And Andrew Pratt and Eric Peck, they're just, you know, they're just kind of driving. So let's take a look back here. Let's see what's happening here in this pack of racing. Let's get a little bit of excitement here, a little bit of action happening here on your screens. You can see just how much work is being put in through these drivers. All of these guys are trying to make something happen here. You see, not sure who that was exactly, that number 51, I believe that was. Yeah, the 51 of Andrew Williams getting a little squirrely there, trying to make something happen here, it seems like. And I believe he's going to have his teammate Bill Petrov. No, that's not correct. So we have drivers all over the place here. It's getting me a little confuzzled here. So we have lap traffic kind of getting involved into different parts of the track as well. But 15 laps left here to go. These drivers have done an absolutely impressive job here today. The 07 is the number I was trying to get at. Wesley Whitfield. It's also going to be Andrew Williams' teammate here, it seems, based on their paint schemes. We also, looks like we have another pair of teammates here as well. A lot of teams here in this league that I'm going to work on getting myself more familiar with. But to give you a name of some of them, let me get that up here for you. So we have the Southern Motorsports, who consist of William Gentry, Eddie Rivers, Daniel Wilkerson. Those are going to be the 3 that compose of Southern Motorsports. And then Southeast Motorsports consists of Nick Reynolds, Doug Turner, Wesley Whitfield, Andrew Williams. And then we have Meatball Flag Motorsports, consist of Adam Gardner, Jonathan Jennings, John Mickey, and Kevin Powell. BRS Racing, Ludovic Bonneau, I apologize if I'm getting that incorrect. Samuel Mograine and Sam Rao, as well as Eric St. Laurent, are also in BRS Racing. BPS Motorsports, we have Randall Barnett, Eric Peck, Doug Solms. And AK Racing, we have Andrew St. Clair, Andrew Pratt, and Kevin Thompson, all in AK Racing. But as I get myself more familiarized with the teams, I'll be able to rattle them off to everyone without having to look at my notes, as I currently have to, but we'll get that down in the future. But we have a lot of excellent pack racing happening here. Andrew Williams in 5th place currently, with Daryl Whiteside leading this pack for 3rd. And if I was Daryl, I would definitely be probably a little tense at this point in time, having this many cars behind me that are definitely wanting to get the position that I'm currently in. So excellent work here from Daryl, as he's going to be fending off a field of drivers here with 12 laps left to go. Absolutely impressive work here from the number 33 of Daryl Whiteside. As you see the number 99 of Kevin Thompson and the 63. So it seems like Daryl just seems to have a bunch of lap drivers that are trailing behind him, trying to find their way to make get themselves unlapped here in this race. Unfortunate to see there for Daryl, but he's making the best of it, and he's going to do the best that he possibly can. We're going to take a little bit further look back in the field here. We're going to look in the 10th place. Oh, we have a car sideways. I'm unsure of who that was, too. We have Bill Petrov going into the wall. Let's have a quick look at that real quick. It doesn't look like we're going to have a yellow flag come out with 10 laps left to go. We have a few cars entering into pit road. Let's have a very, very quick look at what happened here with Bill Petrov in the number 5 machine. Oh, you can see the 34 just gets into the rear and sends him on a spiral into the wall. Unfortunate to see that happen for Bill in the number 5 machine, but we are still racing. 10 laps left to go. Andrew Williams, Nick Reynolds, Wesley Whitfield, Doug Turner all made their way into pit road and are making their way out. As we currently speak, Doug Solms in the number 67 going to be in 7th place now. With 9 laps left to go here, Andrew Pratt and Eric Peck still leading the field first and second, and have not budged since, and these guys have seemed to have stayed in exactly the same spot as since we left them. Excellent work from both of these drivers here today. And let's actually ride on board one more time with Andrew Peck and see exactly what's happening in that number 7 machine. Fantastic work that we have seen there from Eric Peck in the number 7, and you can see just how much angle is present there on the turns here at Daytona. You can see how much the car just turns sideways. The horizon just disappears, and all you see is asphalt. Very interesting thing to witness here in these cars. But Daryl Whiteside we're following now in 3rd place, still in the number 33. With Jonathan Jennings in 4th place, but I do not believe Jonathan is... He is a little bit further back than the rest of the field here. He's going to find himself just a little bit farther back than everyone else. You can see on the map on your bottom right-hand side the number 95 and the number 33, just how much distance is between these two drivers. Doesn't seem like much, but in terms of racing, it can seem like an eternity. With 7 laps left to go here, though, we are going to be wrapping things up rather quickly, as these guys are going to be making their final laps here around Daytona. I gotta say, it has been quite the fantastic race to witness here today. I hope everyone has enjoyed watching and what they have seen, and I know that I certainly have, with Andrew Pratt and Eric Peck still leading out in the front of the field, doing a fantastic job as they have done this entire race. It seems like Andrew Pratt is also on a mission to try and catch up to the 1st place points contender Jonathan Jennings. But Andrew's going to have a little bit of work ahead of him, I do believe, before he's able to catch up to John With a first place finish here at Daytona, that's going to put him ever closer to taking that first place finish and getting him ever closer to winning the series and taking away the championship for the fall season of the Next Gen Cup Thursday Night Series with Doghouse Racing League. And 5 laps left to go. That sight is closing in quicker and quicker, as we have a few drivers making their way into pit road. William Gentry, Daniel Wilkerson, Doug Solms, Eddie Rivers, and Michael Bowen all making their way down pit road. With only 5 laps left to go, it's an interesting move to make for some drivers, but as I say that, our lead lap drivers are going to do the same exact thing. As I said earlier, we only have 50% fuel here for these series. So these guys are going to come down pit road, potentially get themselves a new set of tires, as well as tap off on the fuel. Let's take a look here at Andrew Pratt and see exactly what he does. And it does not look like he took tires. It looks like they're just going to take fuel for the final 4 laps here. Daryl Whiteside, though, in now first place. He was in third in the number 33 machine, is now going to be leading this race with the 99 and the 63 behind him. Both of these drivers are both lapped drivers, and they have been following Daryl for quite some time. And it seems they are very, very eager to get around him, but with only 3 laps left to go, I would say that these guys are just looking to finish the race and get things wrapped up here. You can see the rest of the field, well, some of the field, making their way down out of turn 2. And there Daryl goes down into pit road. That's going to end his lead lap streak for tonight's race. And now Andrew Pratt and Eric Peck are both going to retake that first and second place position. But we have a little bit of a change up here. Eric Peck is in first place, with Andrew Pratt in second. Not sure where the switch up happened and where they exactly changed hands. But Daryl Whiteside still managing to hold it out on first, but there he goes, right past Eric Peck and Andrew Pratt, moving their way into first and second place. And now Eric is going to be looking to finish the race in first place tonight with 2 laps left to go. Things are going to be looking very, very interesting here. Who is going to finish out this race here? It looks pretty well determined. 2 laps left to go here. Anything can still happen. White flag is out. It looks like we have determined who our race winner is going to be for today. And it has been quite the fight, I have to say. And there wasn't a whole lot of opportunities to make to exchange hands too often. So absolutely impressive work from both Eric Peck and Andrew Pratt. Both of these guys doing a fantastic job of just duking it out this entire race. Checkered flag comes out, though. They're going to find their ways out of turns 3 and 4 past the checkered line. Eric Peck taking home first, Andrew Pratt in third, and Daryl Whiteside making his way across the line for third place. Excellent race from everyone here today. As we wait for our race results, as everyone gets their way around the rest of the track. Finishes out the race here tonight. But Eric Peck, our race winner for today. Having a burnout as well, a well-earned one. Right on the front stretch of Daytona. Not really able to get the car sideways because there's too much bank. It's great. Love it. Love to see it. And I'm waiting for the rest of our drivers here to get into the waiting room. Get themselves situated here so we can do our post-race interviews. Get ourselves ready for that, but it looks like we only have one driver who is going to make it for tonight's post-race interviews, but that's all right. Not a big deal. Let's see. All right. So in second place in the 75 machine, Andrew Pratt. And it looks like we have another driver also making their way. All right. Andrew. Oh, crap.
That was all.
Andrew, sir, can you read me? Andrew, sir, can you read me?
I got you.
Andrew, that was a very fantastic race. I apologize for the delay there. For some reason, I wasn't able to drag you into the booth, but we'll get that taken care of for next time. So we're going to do a little impromptu interview here in the waiting room. So apologize, Eric, if I'm going to be talking in your ear here for a second. Andrew, I have to tell you, man, that was both of you guys. You guys both had a fantastic race here today. You guys were nearly bumper to bumper the entire time. And our third place driver also showed up here. Daryl, I'm going to have you next. But Andrew, I got to ask you, what was your thoughts going into tonight's race, and kind of what were you expecting going into Daytona? This is a very fast track, and there's not really a whole lot of opportunities to overtake, but you came out tonight and you seemed to just stick with it. What was your expectations for today?
Well, I pretty much expected exactly what you guys saw out there to eventually become a train out there, because with this particular package, it's kind of hard to get it working up on the high side and have, two competitive lines. So I knew qualifying was going to be important. So lining up third was actually real good for me, because before we were, really fully up to speed and the full run developed, I saw my opportunity to take a run on the high side and give him a little side draft, and then was able to clear down in front. And then I knew from that point on, as long as it stayed green and I kept it on that yellow line, I was probably going to stay there for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely seemed very tricky to make anything happen on that high line, but you managed to make it work, Andrew. You were leading first for quite some time, and I'm not quite too sure what happened to make you lose that position, but hopefully going forward, I'll get to see you in some more kind of action-packed racing that we saw you in tonight. But going
for sure. And I just want to say congrats to Eric. He ran a real good race. We've been friends for a while, and I knew once I saw him with me there, we were gonna be able to stay locked up together. And he had really good pit stops as well. So, and he got me on that last pit stop. He got out ahead of me. So, he earned that win, and congrats to him. So, thank you.
Absolutely, Andrew. Now, before I let you go here, is there anyone watching at home or anyone at home that you would like to give a shout out to or thank before I let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to my mom and my nephew Crosby. I know they're watching and hope wanted to get the win for them, but second actually feels just as good tonight. And it was a good points night for us too. So just want to say hi to them and say thank you to you guys for coming on board and broadcasting for us.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure, and it was great watching you guys race here tonight. Andrew, fantastic work. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
All right, thank you.
All right. Up next, Daryl Whiteside in the number 33. We're kind of doing things a little bit in odd order here. Daryl, you were you kind of found yourself in a weird spot after some time. You kind of found yourself leading a bunch of lap drivers who were wanting to unlap themselves. What was kind of going through your head through that whole time? What was going in through your head, man?
Can you hear me? So yeah, I was just trying to save a little. Hopefully, make it on one stop versus the rest. So, and my crew chief is talking to my ear if you can hear that. So
It's all right. You're okay.
yeah, I know. So anyway, so yeah, those guys got out front and they separated. And once they separate on this track and with this package of cars, it's hard to catch back up. I mean, even half a second behind, it's hard to pull up on a pack. So kind of knew once Eric and Andrew got out front like that, it was going to be difficult to catch them. No matter I was with Jonathan for quite a while, and we just couldn't make any ground on them. So at the end of the day, I mean, they played it right. So just happy to finish
Abs-
happy to finish third.
Absolutely, Daryl. Now, were you kind of expecting that going into Daytona tonight? I know that this track is kind of tricky to kind of plan for. You never really know what to expect. It's kind of like Dega in a sense. Was that kind of in the back of your mind that that's sort of the race that you were going to be seeing here tonight?
Yeah, so when I knew I didn't qualify on the front row, I knew it was going to be tough because it's hard to pass here. Qualifying, I made a couple of mistakes coming off the bottom just a touch. So, starting where I started, I was, little disadvantage, but you just kind of hope everybody plays clean, which in this league everybody does. I mean, it's really surprising that you get into a league like this, and most of our races are completely green flags. So it takes a little bit of strategy, and occasionally you get a caution to where it throws a monkey wrench into it. But overall, these guys are very clean to race with, and so you know what you can do. And I just knew it was going to be hard to pass. You couldn't get on the outside and pass anybody unless you had several cars with you. Nobody was going up there with you, as you saw. At the beginning of the race, some guys jumped to the outside with a little momentum, and at the end of the day, they were, at the back. So
Absolutely, Daryl. Yeah, you said it. You said it yourself. It's it's quite an interesting dynamic that these cars have, that these cars bring to the table, and it's going to be fun to watch going forward. It's been my first time here watching these cars myself, so it's been great to witness here. But Daryl, congratulations on third place. Is there anyone watching at home that you would like to shout out or thank you before I let you go here tonight?
yeah, so my wife was laying in bed watching me. So how's that?
There you go.
So you've
Perfect.
got that right.
Perfect.
And we'll
That's
and we'll keep it PG.
that works. That works. Daryl, thank you so much for coming out and
Thank
talking
you
with us
guys.
tonight. And congratulations on third place. And I look forward to seeing you next race at Iowa.
Thank you.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Eric Peck in the number 7 machine, finishing out today's race in first place quite impressively, I have to add as well. Eric, how are you feeling right now?
Excited. First career win in the league.
Absolutely. That's quite impressive as well. Coming here to Daytona, and, I got to say, Eric, I didn't see it when I was watching you guys in pit road making your way out of pit road. I didn't notice that you actually beat um, Andrew Pratt out of pit road. That was that missed my eye just by a little bit, but it played in your favor, Eric, especially at the last moment with 5 laps left to go. That's you got to be feeling pretty great right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And is that going to play anything going forward into next race going into Iowa? What's kind of your thoughts? What are your opinions about that race?
Just gonna go there and do the best of my ability. Try and keep the car as clean as possible.
Absolutely, Eric. And before I let you go here tonight, is there anyone at home watching that you would like to give a shout out or thank you before you celebrate here tonight?
Yeah, my teammates Doug Soames and Randall Barnett and Andrew Pratt.
Absolutely, Eric. Thank you so much for coming out here and talking with us tonight. Fantastic job tonight. Congratulations on the win, and I look forward to seeing you next week at Iowa.
All right, thank you.
All right. All right, everyone. That's going to wrap up our post-race interviews for tonight. Excellent race from everyone involved here in this league, Doghouse Racing League. Fantastic. Fantastic racing that we've seen from everyone. Again, my name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you tonight's action. Thank you all for coming. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's action. If you did, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe as well if you'd like to stay tuned and catch all the action that we have here at Team Goon Squad. And I will see you all in the next race for Doghouse Racing for race number 12 at Iowa. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out.